Well, the guy who created this mess, Terry, is getting sued again for SA. Since Revenge of the Nerds is an ongoing reality for women all over the world, losers like this get power, abuse a lot of women while having that power, and literally leave a lasting impression on our culture that grossly impacts any woman who is ever exposed to literally anything in the media. So for anyone who's not aware, the New York's Adult Survivors Act is the reason why all these allegations are coming out. Boom, 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 like that. The window has now closed. Hopefully this 1 year window where a survivors who are adults can come forward and press charges and sue all these powerful men who have ruined their lives. Hopefully this window and some sort of legislation will be forever open, because this is bonkers. But I am grateful that at least they had that 1 year period. I could cover all the men who just in like the last few days have had new lawsuits. Bill Cosby, Axl Rose, PDiddy, like so many. That's a whole nother video because I have so much to say about this. But I want to focus on Terry and the way that our society worships men who are edgy. Like, this dude was never edgy. If you just look at his photos, you can tell he's pretty sick and twisted because they have a theme. And the theme tends to be young women doing stuff with their tongues and their mouths, and very young women being the point. I mean, just this one video alone. Licking a sledgehammer, licking a chain, licking ice cream. Also, he loves ice cream shots. He loves young women licking stuff, or putting their finger in his mouth, or eating things, or putting each other's thumbs in their mouths. By the way, this was in 2009. It was a Gossip Girls shoot. I know that these are adults, but the Gossip Girls, they're high schoolers, right? Like, this is like, did Sam Levinson do this? Like, was this the precursor to Euphoria? Is like, the fact that these like it's usually white men, by the way, not exclusive to white men, but so many white men have so much power in Hollywood and in the modeling world and all of this crap, right? And then they get to create what we consume. And so our point of view is now we are forced into their point of view. And this is all normalized. I mean, this is a cow. I do not know how old this girl is, but this is the kind of stuff he's taking photos of. And when they do stuff like this was the cover of, this was Rolling Stone. The steamy Rolling Stones cover shoot with Terry Richardson. Do y'all understand why women feel like men are a bunch of hernos? Because even men who would not find this attractive, if you put this out there enough, this is going to shape what men are attracted to, or cishet men, men who are attracted to women, what we think men want. Is it any wonder why women have so much pressure to look young? Because they keep doing crap like this. Super young girls, even teenage girls. Y'all remember American Apparel ads? I just remember being like, so we're cool with like forking teenagers? Because, I mean, like, are y'all so blatant about it now? Yes. I mean, this dude, is anyone surprised that this man had multiple SA allegations and then another one just came out? Like, we have to live in the twisted fantasy of these men who are obsessed with young women and who make us look at them the way he sees them. And then it's like some sort of honor to be photographed. Oh, Terry Richardson also photographed Obama. Like, he photographed huge stars and powerful people and like respected people while also doing crap like this. I can't even show you this photo. But Miley is literally like touching herself. I can't show you this photo, but he has, look him, there's a pew-pew in her mouth, like eggplant. What is this? Lindsay Lohan is in so many of his photos. Look at this man. He just loves women sucking on their fingers, sucking on his finger. Like, I can't stomach it, y'all. One reason why I go back and I like watch so many movies from my childhood and my teenage years. And then I talk about it on here and I show y'all scenes because, like, you know, it wasn't until literally last month or whatever when I watched Good Will Hunting again. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, now it makes sense why I thought, like, a man's anger shouldn't be an enormous red flag than him punching the wall beside my head and screaming like a madman and literally threatening violence is a love story. But he's so smart and gifted, you know, he had a hard life and he's gonna go get his girl even though he ghosted her. Like, even in like the movie, even when it's not like really blatant how much they expect women to just tolerate over-schmegulation, violence in this like like lens. Even in like the Oscar movies, right? Like Good Will Hunting, American Beauty, all this crap. It's just like, yeah. Like, of course men are just gonna like punch the wall next to the girlfriend that they adore. Wanna fork their daughter's friend who's a teenager. Like, oh God, y'all. I'm so tired of having to live inside of the sick and twisted brain of so many of these unhealed men. But especially, and I'm sure, and I know it's also the same, I am sure that Black, Indigenous, and other people of color are so tired of living in the warped brain of white filmmakers. I'm sure the LGBTQ plus community is tired of this heteronormative crap that's ever, like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's one reason why being a storyteller and being a writer, having your work out in the world is so important to fight against this stuff. It is so normalized. I'm so tired of it. I can tell immediately when I see a movie within like 5 minutes or, you know, sometimes a few seconds. If this was written by a man, I can immediately tell because I usually hate the woman, hate her, or like can't relate to her. I'm like, what? That's only because once I started seeing it, I saw it everywhere. Like, I'm so sick of Quentin Tarantino and his fetishes and his misogyny and his violence against women and his anti-blackness and his racism, outright racism in general. Like his, please God, how do we get money to like filmmakers who are not sick and twisted? I swear that's why I just like, I'm on TikTok all the time and YouTube. I can't watch most movies and TV shows because I know who's funding it, who's writing it, who's directing it, who's making all of these executive decisions and forcing us into the twisted mind of all the Terry Richardsons out there and Sam Levinson's. Covered him a lot. Go watch my videos. I can't talk about that man anymore. Ugh. But when we see this in the media, not just if it's just a picture of her, I'd be like, ugh, but he's in it with her. Like they're doing this in front of us. Is anyone surprised this man was essaying his models? Can you get any more graphic than having this? So yeah, can we change this? The window is over. The window has closed. This needs to be permanent because the number of women and people, it's not just women, of course, the number of people who have been abused and essayed by powerful men with non-disclosure agreements is like infinite. Some of them weren't ready to come out within this 1 year period, and they should have the freedom to do that at a later point without the stupid statute of limitations. But I want to be grateful at least that we had 1 year because women like Cassie were able to kick open the door for other survivors of powerful men with NDAs. And at least she got a little bit of a settlement. She deserves so much more. I'm going to make a whole video about that. The least survivors should get is money because they'll never get justice, but they should get money. And I hope these dorks who are taking their revenge out on the whole world, but especially women and especially young women and girls, I hope they pay the rest of their life. I hope he never works again. I hope everything that he's ever made goes to his victims. Because look at this headline. He was worshipped. Terry Richardson has his way with Gossip Girls. This man was worshipped by Rolling Stones and all the media for so long, and no one ever questioned him. And then the images that he created were put on billboards, magazine covers, and just blasted into the media all over the world. The lasting impression of one man. I'm so tired.